Southern Vangard Radio, this is DJ John Doe, and to the left of me is my man.
Yeah. We in here. Sunday night. It's Meeks.
Cappuccino me.
Big homie, what's going on?
Oh, man. Dude, wild weekend.
Yeah.
Here in the A, here in the South.
Here in the world and life in general, it's all wild.
Motherfuckers falling off
everything.
Falling off milk crates for
Yeah, man.
I just figured out how to
but just watching one of those videos, I figured out how to beat that challenge. You take the motherfucker that took the time to stack the milk crates and you grab one arm and one ankle and you spin his ass into the milk crates and game over. I'm waiting to walk up on the set. I'm gonna be like, who set this up? I'll show you how to beat this motherfucker. Yeah, man. It's
God, the internet ain't shit.
It's crazy times out here, dude. It's good to see you, man.
It's good to see you
Just
too, my
because
brother.
of how crazy it is out here.
It's buck wild, boy.
Yeah,
it's
man.
COVID shit, dog. I tell you what, man.
Yeah, man.
Relentless.
It's buck nutty, man. I'm telling you.
It's relentless.
Somehow we will make it, though.
So we will.
We
will, one way or another.
One way or another.
How was your weekend?
My weekend was quiet, man. I still continue with the early to rise shit. I don't know why. It's starting to play out.
Yeah, we almost got together because I was posted up at across the street from Rick Ross's house.
Yeah, did you? I sent him over there to holler at you. Did you talk to Rose?
He did not.
He didn't come through?
He did not. No.
I'm gonna have to get on him about that shit,
an eighth graders cross country meet was not on his list of things.
Well,
to
I mean,
do on
you know, it could have been sponsored by Wingstop or some shit like that. You never know.
There was a Wingstop up the street though.
See, that's what I'm saying, man.
Sure.
You gotta cross pollinate these things. Yeah, I ended up being at the barbershop that morning, 8 o'clock. Just trying to.
That's what you think got in there early, man.
Yeah, just trying to get my day started. You know what I'm saying? Get some shit out the way so I can chill and.
I'm with you.
You know what I mean?
Got out in the yard this week?
Yeah, I knocked it down.
Weekend? All
yeah,
right.
I'm glad because we had a little downpour earlier today. You know what I'm saying? So good old Atlanta, man.
Yeah,
August in the metro Atlanta area, man.
Boy, it's steamy right now too.
It's still been mild though.
It has been mild, but
I'm
it's still
thankful.
steamy as hell, boy. I was sweating my balls off today out there in that shit. Wow.
I heard that.
Crazy. All right. Well, yeah. Oh, you know, real quick though, I had to say, man, Rick's layout from afar, it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, it's
got the double R on the gates.
Yeah, it's
I saw a building in the back that had like the Maybach Music logo, like sprawled across.
It's way different from when it was Evander Holyfield's house. It's much more rapper oriented.
Now, what do you mean by that exact?
Just what you said. Why do we need to see?
But what's the building? What's the big tall building that has the?
That's the house.
No. It's not on the house. I think it's like a airport hangar or something, or like
Homie, that's part of the house. I'm telling you.
This is
Rick.
Me?
This is Rick fucking Ross. We talking about.
I thought that was like another building, like that was like another part of the house.
That's attached to the house.
No, like another section, like a totally different building. You're saying that's part of the house?
That's the house, dude.
It should look like an airport hangar.
Yeah, he probably got jets and helicopters and shit and Sea-Doos and shit in this motherfucker, man. Who knows? He probably got a Wingstop at his house.
Oh,
I'm sure he does.
Lord, that's too much, man. That shit was a trick. You know what the funniest shit was though?
What's up?
And the funniest shit is we roll in, and I have a 13-year-old daughter. The whole premise for me being here is my 13-year-old daughter had a cross country meet this Saturday
at Our Lady of Mercy.
Yeah, this high school across the street from Rick Ross's house. So we pull in, Meeks. We pull in, and I'm like, yeah, sweetie, you know that's Rick Ross's house. She's like, who? And I was like, Rick Ross. She's like, who's that? And I was like, you don't know who Rick Ross is? She's
the
like,
boss?
Well, what's he do? I'm like, he's a rapper. She's like, oh, I've never heard of him. I'm like, oh my God, Rick Ross is old school.
That's fucking awesome.
My 13-year-old daughter has no idea who Rick Ross is. Like, no idea.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think the last shit he put out was on the Django soundtrack. I don't know. Anyway, bro, what are we doing? Let's get this thing popping, man. We got folk waiting and shit.
I didn't know what I was going to talk about at the beginning of this shit, and
that was pretty good.
I mean, that was just that's too much.
It was pretty bad at the same time, but it was pretty fucking good.
Real quick, before I forget, and I want to make sure we do this on the Mix Show, rest in peace to that blessed girl.
Yes, absolutely. That was the worst shit of the weekend.
Worst shit that I heard all weekend.
Yeah.
For those of you that know, she was an up-and-coming producer out of the Grand Rapids area, right, Mix?
Yeah, making a name for herself.
Yeah.
More and more every day, man, and dealing with liver disease, but she didn't let that stop her.
Diabetes as well, I believe, right?
It was diabetes too. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just super young too, and all through that super positive. The homie pulled up a what was that? A DM message from her.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, we've been
talking about how she was working her way trying to get on our show, and
right?
Just
trying to get on the playlist.
Yeah, trying to get on the playlist.
Yeah. Yeah, she was sending me beats and sending me like pictures. We were talking about like digging and shit like that, you know, because there'd be some records or something like in the background when I make posts, and she, we were going back and forth about a Gwen McRae record and like how PF Cuttin sampled it and like all this shit. Like I was it was kind of fucking me up going back through those DMs. So
yeah, it was
anyway,
not what you want to see.
You know, a lot of the times when we talk about this, like we get some fuck shit in the DMs, but like. This is not the case with this young lady, man. And she was just, she was a real light and, motivated us really. I mean, those are the kind of things that kind of keep us going with this shit. So
yeah, for sure.
So, anyway, that said, rest in peace to Chanika Bowens, I believe is her name, right? Yeah.
Condolences to her family from Southern Vanguard Radio.
Absolutely. All right, let's get on with it.
Yeah.
This is Southern Vanguard Radio. We drop twice a week on Tuesdays. It's a mix show. All the latest and greatest hip-hop cut up by yours truly. Me and Meeks talking a bunch of shit, drinking some bourbon and beer and trying to have a good time. We usually succeed at that.
Mm-hmm.
And then on Thursdays, we have an interview session with an MC or a DJ or A&R, you know, kind of behind the scenes person. Could be they could make clothes. They could basically just, you know, someone within the sphere of, you know, this hip hop culture that we love.
Absolutely.
And hold so near and dear to our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you check us on all your podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, SoundCloud, Mixcloud. You can check us on YouTube. You can catch some video, some visuals actually on YouTube. And then we have some affiliates that help us spread the word as well.
Yes, we have atlhiphop.com, IamClassicRawRadio.net, Return of the Boom Bap, WRBB, X Squad Radio, X Squad affiliates, all those in Atlanta. And we venture out to the West Coast, which is people we'll be talking to tonight out on the West Coast.
No doubt.
We venture out to the West Coast with Soul Public Radio.
All right.
Cali.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
All right, beautiful. All right, so Meeks, you're a big fan of movies and television.
I get it in.
I think you do your thing there.
Yeah.
I love music documentaries.
Yeah.
I guess if you could call this that. But big up to Jerry Graham actually, who made this interview happen tonight. We are on the West Coast.
What's up, Jerry?
And what's up, Jerry? And there is a new movie dropping this week that, you know, this is right up your and I's alley.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, we're old. You know, we're 40 plus easy. And
I can't wait for this shit to pop up on Hulu.
I know,
like
me
in the
too.
next couple of weeks.
No, and next couple of days, hopefully.
Okay, well,
all right, we're about to find out. Anyway,
yeah, let's get it.
So there's a flick coming out this week called "Where We're From: The Rise of LA Underground Hip Hop," and we had the two gentlemen responsible for it here with us on Southern Vanguard Radio tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, DJ Braze and DJ Bonds.
Fellas.
What up?
What's up, y'all?
Peace, y'all.
Peace to the ATL out there.
Yeah, man. What's going on out west, y'all?
It's beautiful out here. You know, it's just always beautiful weather.
Yeah.
So we're very blessed out here. You know,
nice.
Yeah.
Staying safe.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nowhere near the fires out there, you guys?
No, we haven't really. That's more north.
Okay,
right
good.
now, unfortunately, but
good.
You know, we've had our share.
Yeah,
last year
course,
was last year. I the sun was red all year, but this year it wasn't as bad.
Okay,
so far so good. Yeah.
Good, man.
So where you guys are both in LA or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, LA County. LA is so geographically spread out,
dispersed.
Absolutely.
So yeah. So, but I'm in the San Gabriel Valley. And he's in the San Fernando Valley.
All right.
Yeah. Where that earthquake was, that was there's earthquake back in the day.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So
okay.
Well, an earthquake country. Well, I guess
I'm just
California really is earthquake. But
I'm just like 15 minutes from downtown LA. So
gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, fellas, we got both of you here tonight. I'm just going to let you do the intro about this movie. We're super excited to, we've seen the trailer. We have not seen it. We were talking earlier, like if we have seen it, there's probably an issue. But by the time folks hear this interview, actually that it would have been out for a couple of days. So I'm gonna let you guys talk about the flick, and then we'll take it from there.
It's a period piece covering LA underground hip hop from about 98 to about 2000. It mainly centers around Club Elements, which is a weekly that Bonds and I founded, and it ran for about pretty much 3.5, 4 years. But we also transcended from the weekly to bigger concerts, actually. And then it covers just not only what we did, but we were also lucky enough to be at the center of and watching this emerging LA underground scene at the time, where you had all this talent, up and coming talent, groups like Dilated, groups like J5, groups like Self Scientific, Freestyle Fellowship. And then, it also covers us building a great relationship with rockers on the East Coast who had some new acts at the time, like Talib Kweli and, Pharoah Monch, who was, this is internal affairs, Pharoah Monch. So we were lucky to be at the right place at the right time as promoters.
That's what's up.
Gotcha.
I think my favorite soundbite from the trailer that I watched was basically one of you said, in a nutshell, we just wanted to, at the end of the day, we just wanted to rep where we were from. And and that's, that hit home with me because even though I've been here in the Atlanta area since 1989, and here it is 2021, I still got Tennessee tags, license. Because the whole time I was like, yeah, it's cool. I live in Atlanta and shit is fly. It's a lot of beautiful women out here, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, I want you to know I'm from Memphis. I'm not one of these goof ass Atlanta motherfuckers. I'm
right.
Real,
with all due respect.
Well, not all due. But a little bit do.
I think
but you know where I'm going. It's like, what is it like for one of you to say that, you just really wanted to rep where you're from? I mean,
I think Bonds could touch on that better because we're kind of known for one thing, but he can break that down a little better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, growing up, you out here, specifically in LA in the 90s, you literally, depending on what you were dressed like or whatever, you used to get hit up by the gangs and the essays, and they would say where you from, right? And when they ask you that, depending on how you answer, it could mean a beat down or a pass or whatever, right? So there you got that going on, but at the same time, you had this gang kind of like rules with the police where if you walk down the street with like 3 or 4 people, you were considered a gang. And so like I do a lot of times where, I'm just trying to go to the mall with the homies, go pick up on some girls and shit. And we walk to the bus stop and, police come through. They're like hemming us up, checking our pockets, all that type shit. And then literally we have to like break dance in order to prove that we're not gang members, in order to not go to juvie at the time. So like growing up in LA, you either get fucked with by the cops, you get fucked with by the essays, but we just want to represent the culture. Like we're dancers, we're DJs, we're, what kind of like what New York is kind of known for, what I'm saying, as far as the scene and how New York, we had that right here too. Like we had that shit too, but we're only known for, Cube and Dre, and it's all love, is respect, because we love that shit too. Yeah. I'll do a fucking mix of Dre right now, fuck your head up. But, we're known for the culture as well. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I'm trying to shine that on this film. You know what I mean? Or we're trying to
exactly.
And one more question, guys. Knowing your backgrounds and you know the art form, the particular art form that y'all represent within the hip hop culture, what was it like putting on the producer and director hats for this project?
Funny story is Bonds. I didn't want to direct. I didn't want to do it. I've always been a person who respects people that are masters of their craft. And I'm, you know, Stretch and Bobbito did a great film where they didn't direct, but it was about their story. And I'm thinking, okay, you know, we'll tell a story, we'll have somebody. And then he was very insistent on us directing. He was the one, you know, Bonds was the one who was like, no, we're going to direct. And I was like, you know, what are you talking about? We've never directed. and, you know, I can barely balance my checkbook, you know what I mean? So straight up. And I'm like, how are we going to, and I remember like, it was one of the few like big arguments we had about it. And then, you know, but I've always trusted him. He's always led us in green pasture. And so I was like, you know what, if he's fighting me this much on it, I'll trust him. And we also had some experienced documentary directors that were friends per se.
Okay.
And they were always a phone call away.
Okay.
And, you know, as in like, what do you, and it was great because working with them, because they didn't tell us what to do either. They were just kind of like a real master how they teach, where, you know, maybe make some suggestions or this is how it's normally done, but then they left it up to us. And after a while, we had so much fun learning how to direct, learning the process of film that, you know, we got good at it. And, you know, we developed a passion for it. Yeah, it worked out. So I got to thank him for that, you know, because I was ready to just be like, no, we'll get, you know, we'll get Spike Lee to do it. You know,
I was going to ask if you had won that battle. who would you have in mind to possibly direct? Like if that was the route it was gonna go.
Well, Ava was an option at one point, but then she, you know, put out the Project Blow documentary. But she was still an option, and you know, she's a big supporter.
Okay,
you know, she's a LA. Yeah. She's a LA head. She was really the only one that came to mind for me. Okay. And then there are some independent, you know, cats I know. But like I said, I'm glad that he convinced me. He was like, no, we're doing it.
Okay. Well, next time he's that adamant about something, tell him to do that.
That's what I said.
I've been put in that position a lot of times, man.
No, but check this out. Usually he doesn't fight me that hard on shit.
Yeah.
And it might like I'm at home like, you know, after I calm down, I'm like, all right, he never fights me on something this much.
Yeah.
So that must mean he knows something I don't.
What did you?
Yeah, I was going to ask you. What
did you know?
Trust him.
What did you know?
Why are you so passionate about this, dude?
Man. Who the fuck gonna tell our story better than us? Like who? Who can tell what the fuck happened better than us?
That's the end of the discussion right there.
That's where I just mic drop, and you know.
And we were very disciplined as well as like, okay, this is not like we had a bunch of little great stories, you know, but eventually like we had to tell the story of us and put that all together. So we had to be like, okay, there is a formula to filmmaking and we have to really stick to that and make a good film. It's not really about hip hop and us being on the screen or anything. It's what are we trying to say? What are we trying to convey with this film? And we never strayed from that in the whole 5 years that we made the film. It's about making a good film that anybody can enjoy, not just your hip hop fans. So
right.
I got to give us, props on that because that was always the goal. Make a good fucking film. That's it.
So what'd you guys do? Did you guys start like just diving into, directing and like independent documentaries? Like, how did you guys learn? Like, were you reading books?
We learned on the job.
On the spot.
Really?
I was about to say,
yeah. We started.
I'm sorry, go ahead, bro.
I was going to say we started in 2015, but actually it was funny. I don't think I've said this before. In 2014, our very first interview was Pharoah Monch. And we didn't know what the fuck we were doing at all. Like, you know what I'm saying? He's his B-rolls in the film But that interview was so bad that we couldn't put it in the film. You know what I'm saying? And that was our first fucking, that was our first fucking interview was Feral Munch. Yeah. And so just from that alone was like, all right, next time we're not going to do it outside where there's cars and buses and boys. Next time, you know what I mean? Like we right off the gate. And then we probably did our next interview maybe like 6 months after that. And that's where, like, I think we kind of hit our stride. Okay. And so we interviewed folks for like 2 years straight, right? From like 2015, 2017. Yep. And we did like close to like 6 or 7 interviews. And then we just took a moment, we stopped and we're like, all right.
What do we have?
We have a lot of little puzzles, but they want to hear us. We had to reevaluate. And then we did like another 30. So we did like 100 interviews. We got an incredible amount of content.
Damn, that's dope.
And then it was like, all right, what are we really trying to say? And then other stories just popped up just from the like things that we didn't expect at all whatsoever made into film. You know what I'm saying? So it was a little bit of that, but we did 2 years strong of interviewing, maybe like a year or two of like editing. And then just legal took about a year. And then the pandemic hit, right? So, you know, when folks are like, why does it take so long? I'm like, shit, you know,
it's a lot. It's a lot.
It's a lot.
We would have been doing this. We would have been doing this about a year ago.
Yeah,
we were just getting done, and then this hit.
Yeah,
and we were like, okay, everything's on hold. So, So, but you know, better late than never. So,
yeah, probably gave you a kind of a forced pause to like just take inventory and like.
Everything happens for a reason. No regret.
Yeah. You know,
some fine tuning maybe to get it to where it is now and ready to be released.
Well, I tell you what's interesting too. I mean, if you think about it, you guys have probably thought about this, but like, I mean, now folks are so used to experiencing, you know, a film at home now, even on initial release, right? Like people were not used to that 18 months ago at all.
Exactly.
You know, so. You know, that's that's probably a positive that came out of it, I would imagine. You know, but that's dope, man. I really appreciate you guys taking that into your own hands because it's not a light undertaking. I don't think folks
we respect
understand
the shit out of that. It couldn't have been easy.
No, you know, my man over there is really the one who deserves the credit for that. Yeah, you know. He came up with we started seeing footage of our shows in other documentaries. Okay. And there's no mention of the event. There's no mention of the city. There's no mention of anything. And that's how and then
that'll motivate the shit out you too.
Yeah. And then I remember he came up on some archival footage and then the seed was kind of planted with him. I'm going to let him, you know, finish the rest of the story because it's a great story. And then, you know, he was the one who hit me up, was like, what if we do some test shots? And I was just like, yeah, test shots my ass. Like, that means we're doing it. I know you. I know you.
Test shots so much. We know
like, I know what that means. We're making a film, even though we've never done this. So I'm like, okay. But I'll let him finish that story of how the rest, and then we did it. So, and you know, it was fun. Like I said, it was so fun.
Dope.
Yeah. So, I mean, one day I was looking in the closet and I found all these VHS tapes, and I'm looking at shit that says "Dilated People Live at Elements," or you know, it was like Talib Kweli's first performance ever in LA, like solo without Most and all that. And I was like, some nerd is going to want this shit. I'm going to make money off this shit. Some motherfucking Germany, Japan, some rap pack, backpack nerd is going to love this shit. And so I was like, how can I make some money off this shit? That's me. That's how I kind of think. So, you know, I called this dude named DJ Mark Love. He's like a mentor of mine, you know, in the LA Underground. His name rings, you know, he's the shit out here in LA. So I called Mark Love. He's like, man, I don't know how to really make money off it, but I know Adrian Young will. So let's go to Adrian Young's record store and let's go basically see what he got. So I go with Mark Love, pick him up, go to the record store. Adrian's like asking me question after question, like, well, what's on this or what's that about? And all these stories start pouring out of me about what we went through, all the bullshit it took to actually do a show, money lost, trials and tribulations. And he's like, man, you don't sell this shit. You need a camera on you. You got to tell the story. Shit. So really, it's Adrian Young's fault. Well, it took fucking 5
You notice how you notice how the finger changes direction like every 10 minutes. It's his fault. No, it's his fault. No, he did it.
Yeah,
that's dope.
Yeah.
Yo, man, it's I had a similar experience with a label that specializes in unreleased like 90s demos.
Right.
And it just so happened that I was the gatekeeper of ADAT tapes and DAT tapes and reference CDs and shit like that. So that's a special place, man. And it's, you know, it's cats like us that got that type of shit in our closet that it's just sitting in there. And I just wish more cats would reach back and tell their stories, you know, like y'all are doing right now. That's a special spot to be in, man. Seriously.
Yeah, no, it definitely is.
If you went in that closet with shit like fall on your head, like, and then
all that.
You know what?
I'm on marriage number 2. Got the first divorce papers right next. I'm like, what's going on? Why is it all of a sudden falling down? Like, oh shit, she can't see this. Like, yo, the closet's a mess.
I know, right?
Fucking gold.
Yeah.
And it was fucking gold.
Dope.
Yeah.
So what's y'all's story? How do you guys know one another?
We met like late high school, early, junior college era. We have mutual friends, and we also worked at the same job. Like when you're in high school, you take like any job. So we both had this telemarketing job, and he was already slanging mixtapes. He was already doing his thing, and I was making beats at the time, and that's all I was doing at that time. And we met up, and we knew each other just from mutual friends. And when we saw each other at the job, it was like, "Yo, what up?" And then we started going to all the spots together, like Unity and Funk Jungle and Water the Bush and Brown Rice and Barbecue. These were all classic LA spots before our Elements, Club Elements took off. Mm-hmm. And then, once again, him with the idea, he's already like, wanting to DJ residencies, and instead of trying to get your foot in the door, he's like, fuck it, let's start our own spot.
Okay. I was going to ask about that too. How did that come about? So yeah.
Well, that's how, and it was like, I'll DJ and you come through and showcase your beats and showcase the artists you're working with. So that was honestly the original idea for Elements.
Dope.
But like I said, we were in the right place at the right time, because we had no idea that you had all this emergent scene coming, because before that, it was still about New York, and it was still about major labels.
Right.
Not only was it about acts like Dilated and J5, it was also about independent labels like ABB, Stone's Throw, Good Vibe Records, and Rockers, because they weren't really around before. And all of a sudden you had this independent label scene, and a lot of that was out here in the West.
No doubt.
Yeah. So, and we somehow just became the stage for these people, and we were lucky on that. So eventually it didn't become about us anymore. It became more about being, a carrier of the torch, in LA. Like, we need to keep this thing going, for the culture.
I mentioned, or I saw in the, I guess kind of like just the blurb about the movie, about how you guys are talking about how it's great that there's all these movies about, Dre and Wu-Tang. And when all these movies started coming out, I was just like, man, there are so many more stories to be told. It's so refreshing to see folks like you guys actually they're starting to pop up now, right? I mean, there's so many stories. It's ridiculous. I mean, like, and even when they, what was it? Hip Hop Evolution. Like, they went in there just like a little bit, like just a tiny bit. And that's when I realized, I was like, all right, like this thing's going to get broken open at some point. I don't know when, but, man, that story of the West Coast Underground is so incredible, man. And just the music and what led up to it. And, I did college radio. I'm sorry, go ahead. My bad.
No, I'm saying, you see that influence throughout the world.
For sure. Yeah, exactly.
So, and that's why I'm like, the story has to be told. There were some very key players out here, like not just us, People like Bigga B,
Yep.
who who founded Unity and ran Unity, and Raekwon is on record saying there would be no Wu-Tang without Bigga B. And I'm like,
wow.
how come nobody else talks about Bigga B? And Bigga B was a huge influence on us. He was doing it before us.
Nice.
Yeah, he worked at Loud Records. And
he worked at Loud Records. Yeah,
he was at Loud Records. So you
with
think
Steve Rifkin, yep.
Exhibit, Wu-Tang, Loud Records. You know what I'm saying?
He's responsible for all those cats.
Yeah.
Self Scientific. He's Chase's cousin.
Nice.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's and I'm like that brother's name needs to be known. Not just him, but DJ Rob One, DJ Dusk. These are people who are no longer with us, and we're very influential out here. DJ Dusk is the one who put on Sound Clash at the Root Down, which is at the Gabba, which is where Elements was, and that DVD is a collector's item now. But I'm like, nobody knows who Dusk was. So I'm like, we need, that needs to be, and there's all these stories, man, like you said, and we love gangster rap. We grew up on it. Everyone in LA is gang affiliated, and somewhere or another, but that's not all we're about.
Of course,
we have some incredible lyricists. We have some of the best DJs in the world, period.
No doubt.
And some incredible graph writers, so I'm like, man, we need to talk about that too,
So Elements was around roughly 98 to 2002, is that correct?
Yeah. About that 4 year span.
Yeah.
We're 98, just a lot of weekly, every Sunday was doing it.
Was there some I think I want to know over that 4 year span, kind of like the good, the bad, and the ugly of that little 4 year span in your life. Like you had to enjoy it to be in it for 4 years, but I know it wasn't just cake, holding that down. Talk about that a little bit.
Well, I think the getting it started, that whole thing, and the trials and tribulations of like, man, if this shit don't work, like, I brought in like several different people just in my own personal life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So like I was DJing at a spot, like a house party, even before Elements started, I was DJing a house party. I'm playing Pac and Jay-Z and Puffy. I'm playing the Jiggy. I'm playing, girls dancing. Like I'm on, I'm getting down. People are dancing, having fun. And my cousin saw me DJ. He's like, man, you need to be in a club. Like this house party shit is cool and all that, but you need to be in a fucking club. So he threw money at me, he threw money at this club, and we had like 2 or 3 nights. And then the club was like, yo, we found some other promoters, kick rocks, go down the street, find something else. So they're the reasons why we found this spot called the Gaba. And we walk in, it smells like piss. It's dark.
Nice.
It is not sexy. There's no way I could play like the Puffy Jay-Z type shit. There ain't no fucking way I could do that shit. So I called Breeze. I was like, yo, the shit we doing where I come over, I do scratches on all the artists and shit. We got to do that at this spot. It has to be an underground hip hop spot. So we called it strictly underground hip hop for about 3 weeks until Breeze came up with the name. We didn't even know what the fuck to call this shit, but we knew it was strictly underground hip hop. And then Breeze, he always named shit. So the name of this film, where we're from, that's him. That ain't me. That's, he has his ear to the street. You know what I'm saying? My cousin Damon's, the kind of like the money dude, you know what I'm saying, behind the scenes. Obviously I'm DJing a connector or whatever. And then my man Silos, the Mechadon Silos, he worked at Fappy. And the manager at Fappy. So quiet dude, but on the real, any artist, from the era knows what time it is with Silos, you know what I mean?
No doubt.
So it was just this collective of just, folks who, got together, and it was rough. We were losing our ass during the first couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. And then Breeze came through with the homie. I'll let him tell that story on how we, came from losing our ass to starting to kind of not making money, but at least surviving.
Yeah.
Because underground hip hop, you don't fucking make money.
No. You just you do enough to last for 4 years or something like that. Yeah. We with you.
So Breeze, who'd you bring through, man?
So you can tell us on that shit.
So I don't want to give too much away of the film, but because it's in the film. But I was lucky enough to attend school with Raka, who's part of Dilated. And
Gotcha.
so I hit up the homie and said, can you come through and perform?
Yeah.
And they came through. They were just coming. They had just put out their degree. They had just put out their degree. That's how early this was.
Oh, wow.
But I still felt that, you could feel the tsunami coming of what they were going to be.
Oh, sure.
So we knew that already. So I knew that if just even them being there would help us out. And sure enough, he came through with Ev and Babs, and we have it on video, and they killed it. Man. And so that and the next thing I know, after that, we never saw an empty night again.
Nice.
We never saw an empty night again.
Nice.
Some of the there was always drama though. There's always something.
So
there's always something.
I want y'all to go through and focus on 3 nights for me. The best night of Elements, the worst night of Elements, and the ugliest, grimiest night of Elements that y'all can recall.
Wow. The best night. That's a tough one. Shit.
So there's 2 different things though, because you have like the club, which was every week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
let's do like
that clear.
A concert, like maybe like once a month, where we would just I don't say get lucky, but different acts were basically coming out with their official like albums. So we would get asked by Dilated
or tour dates
or whatever.
Yeah.
And so like whether it's in the year 2000. Dilated Peoples came out. We did the official album release party. JURASSIC 5 came out. We did the official album release party. Reflection Eternal, Talib and High Tech. Again, we did the official album release party. Quasimodo, which he only performed once and never again. That was with us, and that's what we got on footage.
I did not realize that. That's ill.
Yeah. So I'm sorry if we weren't clear enough, but we were running a weekly every Sunday, and then we started doing bigger shows. And at the El Rey Theater, which could house like 1,000 people, 1,500 people.
Yeah. Okay.
But we still kept the weekly while we were doing the big shows.
Gotcha.
So in those 3.5 years, we didn't sleep.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We were on this, we were a machine. And if you're
best night, like best night, like that's what I'm saying. That's
and that's what I'm like.
It's like, what's your favorite
night
record?
of the weekly or best of the show?
Yeah.
I'm gonna steal one from you, brother. So one of the best nights it happened at the weekly, which only could fit like maybe 200-300 people. Okay. So we're every Sunday. We're having a great night. It's a regular night. Bonds is killing it on the tables with Silos and DJ Gabriel, and he gets a phone call from Corey Smith, who's now working with Dave Chappelle. And he, at the time,
right?
He was working.
Yeah, Blacksmith. Yeah.
Yeah. And at the time, he was working with De La and Kweli and that whole entire family. And they had just done a show at House of Blues that night, which was great. But at that time, House of Blues, because it's hip hop and the reputation that it has, it would end its hip hop shows at 10 o'clock.
Yep.
10:30. It would start at like 7 o'clock and end at like 10.
That's real.
So he gets a phone call from Corey Smith and like, yo, we're in town. Can we come through? Like, yeah, come through. We'll hang out, whatever you want to do. And the next thing you know, De La Soul is on stage freestyling with Kweli. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, it's not just because of the spur of the moment. It also really tells you the type of relationships that we built. These guys just got done doing a show.
Right.
They just got off stage.
But it's super early and they like,
but at the same time, you don't have to get on. Like we were just like, just come on in and hang out, have some drinks or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's the type of place it was.
That's dope.
That's the type of place it was. And that's just one night, and that I can say that night because that's not in the film.
Okay.
So I don't want to spoil it. I don't want to spoil anything that's not in the film, but that's just one particular night. Worst night. I think the worst was probably my last show with the fellas with the camp, because I exited out. I decided to walk away, and I say that because it was bittersweet because it was Talib Kweli's album release party for Reflection Eternal, and it was one of the best nights we had, and it was one of the most efficient nights we had. you know, because something always happens. But for some, everybody was on time. For some reason, everybody showed up early, and everything was no fights, but everybody on the guest list got in. So it was just like, okay. And I'm like, man, the night that everything just ran perfect was my last night with the camp. So I remember that was I didn't like that feeling, you know.
Yeah.
You know. So Bonds.
I was thinking of we did MC battles all the time. We did dance battles. You know, the weekly battle, like for MCs, was like $100, and then every once in a while we do like a DJ battle. You know, so it's like $1,000. It was a tournament, and every week like 2 people battle. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, you move on. It was like a tournament. You know what I'm saying? But the finals of our DJ battle, I don't know what it was about that night, but we had like Cuban Links perform out of nowhere. Fucking Slug and Idea, you know, Atmosphere did, you know, perform. Fucking Craze is there. Most stuff shows up, and, you know, out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Just so random, and it just felt good. Like you're doing the right thing. Like, you know, you're doing the right thing, but just all these different folks in hip hop just come to you, not paid. I wasn't paying nobody. Like, you know what I'm saying? They just come through and they want to kick it. You know what I'm saying? So that to me it really stands out, especially as far as the weekly. You know what I'm saying?
That's a big chill too, because there was no internet back then, right? Or if there was, it was maybe it was email, maybe, but I mean, like that was purely word of mouth stuff. You know what I mean? Like
you just
so
had
Hotmail days. These are the Hotmail days.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bonds. What were you saying?
No, I was just gonna say, you know, that was the height, I guess you could say, and honestly, within like within almost the same year, became the low, because it was like. Every week like cats used to pay $7 to $10 to get in, right? And they would go there for the MC battles and the circle, and you know how dope hip hop was, right? You know, ciphers in the back, smoking weed, women. We actually got women, you know, there. You know, where underground hip hop shows you might not really see that. So we were, you know, we were doing our thing. At the same time, though, like when I started to get, you know, these bigger acts come through, folks like expected that kind of shit. Like if I didn't have that on a flyer, you know what I'm saying? It was like, you know, folks wouldn't come through no more. They wouldn't come through just the normal hip hop.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So that got me really salty, right? So I was at the time, you know, I started to DJ for Mystic. So shout out to Mystic, my sister. She, you know, she had the Cuss for Looks, Scotch for Freedom, and the Life single really took off. So
no doubt.
When the Life started going, you know, I started to go on the road like all the fucking time, right? And so that was beautiful, you know, because DJing, TV, 106 and Park, all the shit that comes. That's how I got to know some folks in Atlanta. So DJ Ross salute, Motown League, salute. You know what I'm saying? So like during that time, I'm on the tour bus and I keep getting reports about how the club's doing, and like, you know, the crowd started to. Just folks wasn't showing up like they used to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, to the point where it just put a really sour taste in my mouth, like doing all this shit.
And it was because the bar was set so high that they got used to that. And if they saw a flyer or something like that and it didn't look like it was gonna be stellar, they just wouldn't come out.
Right.
If it didn't say Talib Kweli, one night only, and it was just like, you know, so-and-so, you know, like the grimy cat who would give me a demo tape and we would get him on because he's dope. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to get him. It's like, it's almost like folks got spoiled to me. Gotcha. You know, I know there's several factors. There's a lot of different factors, and Breeze probably gets to that as well. Sure. Like, but so the ending elements, the weekly, I wasn't even there. Oh, so that's probably like you know, some really fucked up shit. Like we was on tour either NDIRE or Black Eyed. I don't know. I was on tour with somebody, and I wasn't even there on the last night elements.
Did you know? Did you know it was the last night, or it just?
Yeah, no, I knew.
You know it? Okay.
At that point, no fucks, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, when you put this amount of effort and shit into it, and motherfuckers just stop, you know, coming through and represent like they should. Yeah. Or you know, I know Breeze don't like me talking about this, but jumping the fence, get in for free and shit like that. And you trying to make money for your son, you trying to provide for your family. Motherfuckers want to get in for free, and you start feeling. You can hear the passion in my voice. I still feel it kind of way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's warranted.
Oh, absolutely, man.
So,
Yeah.
you know, yeah. But, 20 years later, beautiful moments, it shaped me as a man, some real shit, you know what I'm saying? Those lessons,
For sure.
shaped me as a man and, my business shit. So,
Yeah.
I love everything that transpired, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because I wouldn't be who I am if I didn't have those experiences, you know what I mean?
No doubt.
For sure.
Yeah.
So where can folks catch this thing, man? It's let's see, August 24th is when it drops, so that's on Tuesday.
Tuesday, August 24th, the pre-order Apple TV link is already up. You guys can, go to the website, which is elementsdoc.com. The pre-order link is there, or you can go to our Instagrams, or the pre-order link is in our profile there.
Okay.
It'll be on Apple TV, Google Play, Amazon, wherever you stream or rent your movies. It'll be there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Where we're from, Rise of LA Underground. So yeah,
Beautiful.
Tuesday, and want to give a shout out to the team. Our team was amazing. Raji, Robin, Kat, David Massey, Rachel Ramus, Mike Richter. Who else am I forgetting?
DJ Revolution, who made 60
Revolution. Yes, DJ Revolution.
Yo, let's talk about that real quick because there's an accompanying soundtrack,
please.
right? So we're gonna get into one of the joints from the soundtrack, but let's talk about that real quick too before we wrap up.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Yeah, go ahead, brother.
I mean, Rev, one of the trials and tribulations on the legal side of things is like, man, I can't control these samples. Like we had a run of like what we wanted to kind of play. And, as we started to research and find out the actual like quote for like one song, but like, from 10 to like 30,000 just to clear it, because of the samples. And I was like, man, ain't no way. So I asked Rev to be the main music composer and to make the soundtrack, if you will, or the bed music, or like, the beats underneath the
Sure.
the interviews and shit. And he knocked it out the fucking park. You know what I'm saying? And then one of those beats, he called me one day out of the blue. He's like, man, yo, I know I did this for you, you know what I'm saying, on the film and shit, but man, some of this shit's fire. Some of this shit needs like, I can see MCs spitting on this shit.
Yeah.
He's like, what you want to do? I was like, man, I'm down, man. If you're down to let me, he's like, yo, let's do it. So we worked out the business. And then I was like, man, as far as who would actually be able to retell the story of Elements, like in a song, I was like, it's got to be Planet Asia. And Breeze will probably say on his love, you know what I'm saying, for Elements and how he acts in the film, talking about it, his lights, his eyes light up. And he's just so excited, you know what I'm saying, talking about.
Yeah, he was a frequent head over there. He was already had a name, he was already doing his thing. Cali Agents was out. We had Cali Agents actually on our very first big concert. So, but he would come through, and not just with him, and I think he's very appreciative, and that's why he was willing to do this.
Right.
We did this with everybody. If you came through, we were going to take care of you. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And
that's why he really appreciated not only the culture of what was going on, but just that we took care of him, like we respected what you're doing. We respect you as an artist. And a lot of promoters don't do that.
Yeah.
A lot of promoters just use these dudes up. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, and that's why, like, it's now 20, 25 years later, Bonds can call Asia and be like, you want to, by all means, I want to do it.
I don't think people realize that about that side of the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of leeches in this game. And we weren't the only promoters. We weren't the only promoters in the game at the time, but we were the ones getting the better deal. We were the ones getting the better performance. We were the ones getting, and that matters 20 years later.
Absolutely.
That matters 20 years later. So.
For sure. So Bonds and Breeze, what are you guys doing outside the film these days? Anything got any other projects in the in the pipe, or what else you doing other than the movie? Recording
people, mixing their music.
Mixing
their music. Photography has become a great outlet for me as well.
Okay.
But mainly music and and recording engineering,
Okay.
DJing every now and then, but he's the real DJ over there.
Yeah. What about you, Bonds?
I still get down to the club. I do,
Oh, you really? Okay.
And it was crazy. I guess, because of this, I'm known for like underground hip hop. I play, you know what I'm saying? Like my night's called Brown Sugar, and it's strictly R&B, and it's like I'm that dude. You know what I'm saying?
You're a smart man, is what you are. You're a smart man.
He's killing it. He's killing it.
Yo, so come out tonight, Brown Sugar. Every
Wednesday.
Right. But so obviously I still DJ. But then I work in education. I've been in education since '96. I used to work at juvenile hall, teaching kids, shit like that. Teach kids how to DJ at probation schools. So I've always been and even to this day. So I help run a nonprofit. Really trying to advance equity for Black and Brown youth out here in California. We're a state agency, and I help represent the superintendents in California.
That's
so,
awesome,
it's just it's a grind. You know what I'm saying? Nonprofits is it's a lot of work, man.
Yeah.
Like real talk. So,
I work for a nonprofit myself, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Salute to you for that, though, because just those different environments you're in, providing that service and teaching and carrying on, that's to be commended, man. So thank you for that.
Man, some of the footage, the very first show we did with the Far Right exhibit and Asia,
that's right.
Some of that footage is actually shot by at-risk youth who had cameras. So I had back then I was working with a nonprofit, and they had the kids who were like, when I used to teach them in juvenile hall, and then all of a sudden they're on the outs, and then they would go to this nonprofit, and my man Shane Coleman, shout out to Shane, he gave them some cameras. And so that footage is shot by juvenile delinquents. Wow, you know what I'm saying? So when you see Exhibit and the Far Right, whatever, inside the film, that's kids out there.
I remember that, man.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
I remember he telling me, like, we have a camera crew. I was like, what do you mean we have a camera crew? I was like, we can't afford a camera crew. He's like, no, we got a camera crew. I got it. I was like, what you mean we got
They fresh
like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
You asked too many questions. Just come on.
Oh my God. Just
get it how you can get it.
What you gotta do. All right. And it came out great, man. Shout out to those kids. Man.
Nice, man.
That's dope.
Hell yeah.
That's dope. I love that.
Yeah, that was great. Yeah, no, there's so much, man, that happened, that didn't get into the film either. Mm-hmm. So definitely also expect some future work from us.
Okay.
Yeah, this won't be the last time. This, like I said, we had a lot of fun with this experience. So, and there's still a lot of stuff in the vault. So yeah, future work coming.
All right, beautiful. Fellas, thank y'all, man. This has been a real pleasure.
Hell yeah.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can't thank you enough. Everybody.
Tuesday the 24th.
Yeah.
Tuesday the 24th, Apple TV, Google Play, Where We're From, Rise of LA Underground. Make sure you peep it, stream it, get some popcorn.
Hell yeah.
Snuggle up with your lady, snuggle up with your man, whatever. Turn the lights down low, baby. We're going to watch some underground shit.
Yeah, man. All of that.
No doubt. All right, y'all.
All right.
All right,
peace,
fellas.
y'all. Thank you.
Great talking to y'all, man. Thank you.
All right, man. You'll have a good week.
All right, peace.
All right, peace. All right, Meeks. There you go, my man.
Yeah, man.
Oh man, good stuff.
Yeah, we get it in.
I love too. I love LA West Coast Underground. I mean,
I'm just sitting over here wishing I had known, when I was out there, when I was going out there around that time, we was definitely out there. I wish I had known about it.
Yeah, that would have been the time you were out there rolling around, right?
Yeah, fucking with the labels out there and everything.
Who knows, man? You could have fallen up in that joint not knowing it.
I
very
probably
possible.
could. Very possible, man. Seriously, wow, just some of the names they talked about and everything.
That's
that
crazy.
Shit was
I can't wait to
crazy, man.
Shit.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be looking for that, and y'all should be looking for it too, man.
No doubt.
Yep.
All right, man. All right, y'all. So let's see. By the time you hear this, the film's out now, so make sure you go support it.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you can go back to episode 301 and check out that Revolution and Planet Asia joint.
Yeah.
That they talked about, and buy some shit from these folks, man. If they got some merch or something, that's that's associated with the film, or go support these artists that are in the film.
No doubt.
That's the least you can do.
Yeah, they got product out. Go get that shit if
No
you
doubt.
ain't got it already, man. Do something with yourself.
Got it.
All
All right. It's the Guard, y'all. Smithsonian
it.
grade. This is Doe. It's Meeks.
Yep. Meeks and Doe, Southern Vanguard Radio. We out.
We out of here. Peace.
Peace.